Steven requested me on Patreon to review the first DreamWorks animation movie produced exclusively for Netflix, Trollhunters: Rise of the Titans. This is meant to be the series finale of 3 shows created by Guillermo del Toro, and I should mention I have not watched any of them. When I got this request, I decided to watch the movie blind and see how it would fare as a standalone film. That may have been a mistake. This is not a movie that lends itself to newcomers, as some emotional attachment to the characters seems to be required. They do include an introduction that summarizes the events of the series, and one of the comic relief provides a basic rundown. However, the movie is constantly throwing character after character at you at a dizzying rate. There are a lot of characters in this, and not enough of them are fleshed out over the course of the runtime, probably because they were already developed in the shows. I actually thought the standout was easily a cat who sprouts bat wings. As voiced by Alfred Molina, he gets some funny lines and remarks. He has a charming design too. I would say one of the strengths of this movie is the visual look. The designs are really creative and imaginative, and the production designers and effects artists did a really good job of enhancing the environments. It's neat seeing the characters jump to a new location, although that's honestly what a lot of Rise of the Titans is. It's a bunch of scenes where characters hop from one location to the next in order to stop whatever the big bad is doing in that scene. I rarely felt the film take a breather, as a lot of it descends into a series of action scenes. Impressively directed action scenes, mind you, but because I was not that invested in the characters, the intended impact wasn't quite there. Regarding the action, we get some solid fight and battle scenes. I thought the best moment involved a scene reminiscent of Pacific Rim. The reference makes sense not only because of Guillermo del Toro's involvement, but one of the 3 directors, Francisco Ruiz Velasco, was a concept artist on the films. The other 2 directors also have some major film and animation credentials. Yoan Mate was a storyboard artist on Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, along with a number of DreamWorks animation films. And Andrew L. Schmidt has an animation career going back 30 years, first as an animator at Amblimation and then eventually spending several years at Pixar. And all of them were, of course, heavily involved in the 3 Trollhunters shows. It makes sense why Del Toro chose them to direct Rise of the Titans. Going back to some of my criticisms, I found the humor didn't quite land most of the time. There's one strange subplot where one of the male characters becomes pregnant, and whenever we cut back to him, he's either screaming or they're doing a joke about cravings. I also found the villains to be fairly dull. They're your standard evildoers who want to destroy the world, and I did not find there was much to them beyond that. However, as I said, Rise of the Titans is primarily a series finale, and so it's understandable why I was a tad lost. There are lines of dialogue that provide an idea of the character development they've had over the years, and without spoiling anything, the ending also shows how far they've gone since the first episode. I really like Avengers Endgame, but if someone watched that without having seen the previous Marvel movies, they would probably react to the film the same way I felt watching Trollhunters: Rise of the Titans. I don't think it succeeds as a standalone movie, but for fans of the shows, there is likely an excitement throughout about what will happen to their favorite characters and how the world will expand. There are also likely references and Easter eggs to previous adventures and running gags that obviously went over my head. I instead let myself be impressed with the animation and creativity and just the amazing talent over there at DreamWorks Animation. Even with the rush pacing and other issues I had with the movie, I still found Rise of the Titans to be reasonably entertaining. If you've seen the movie on Netflix, let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for the request, Steven.